You know, if you're going to do something, you should be purposeful and it should be meaningful, especially when you're educating kids. How do we get them to think, problem solve? And then how do we allow them to be creative? And then how do they communicate this?
We try to find the gifts in all of our students here at Monte Vista. We give them an opportunity to share what they've been gifted with in groups.
These kids that they learn totally different from the way I was trained, the way a lot of my teachers were trained. And so we started examining, well, what does that look like?
We're behind. The students are growing in technology. It's a day-to-day life thing, a part of their body almost, right? Their cell phone doesn't leave them. So they are engulfed in technology all the time.
At this school, all the students have iPads, and from there it was just a matter of how can we best utilize that tool to turn it into a tool for learning and not just a tool for entertainment. So as a teacher, for me, I had to think of what types of projects I could make viable on the iPad. So it was a matter of trying to dig through apps and figure out what sort of projects I could bring to the table through that.
How do we help students to collaborate together? Where collaboration is going to be the #1 thing that we did. We're going to collaborate because that's where students really became engaged.
In pretty much every job, you have to learn how to collaborate with other people or communicate well, because communicating is one of the biggest problems, I think, with everything, breaking up or just a normal school day or something. So I just really am thankful that we're learning this, because it's really fun to do, but it's also going to help us later in our jobs or just communicating with other people around us.
So we went through project-based learning last summer. We had somebody come in and teach us all the different elements of project-based learning, and one thing that he said that really stuck with me was to have cross-curriculum project-based learning. So as a 8th grade team, we discussed it, and we knew that we really wanted to develop this idea.
That was a very exciting project for me to kind of jump into, because it kind of got me away from teaching the traditional style, which is kind of the drill and practice. Teacher stands in front of the room and just talks and talks and talks. Instead, we kind of have the students being more a part of the class, where it's about the students owning their own learning process and them getting involved. Instead of the teacher speaking at them, it's them kind of running the class the way that they would like it to run, and the teacher kind of just facilitating that through projects.
So when you bring engagement on a different level, where you can have one-to-one student sharing, or a group of 3 or 4 where they all rely on one another, then that forces the issue of, well, I have to perform to assist my other group members, and if I don't, we fail as a group.
I love every single one of my teachers, and that's probably my favorite part of the school.
I like how we're not just learning concepts, but we're learning concepts that we can apply to life, like actual life situations. I love that.
Teaching this way, teaching in a way where it's inquiry-based and discovery-based, is exciting. It's very exciting. It's exciting to watch the students grow. It's exciting as a teacher to watch them find things on their own.
What's interesting to me is how many students will ask me how many points this is worth or what's this worth, and when I don't have students asking me that because they flat out don't care, is when I know I have a pretty good assignment, because they actually want to do the assignment for the assignment itself and not just for the grade. And I think that was part of the Bridge project. Not a whole lot of kids really asking what it's worth, more just interested to learn more details how they can execute the project.
Give the students choices of, you can use this app, or you can try this or this, and give them an opportunity to grow and learn, because then they can master not only content, they can actually master how to learn. And the more we implement it, the more often the child sees that they bring value to the table. And when a child knows that they bring value to the table, it's eye-opening. They really see that I can learn, I can produce something of quality and that matters to others. And it makes them have a desire to want to learn, to be a part of something greater, instead of sit back, be silent, or be disruptive. And it gives them an opportunity to show their learning in a totally different manner.
What I see as a principal, and what really excites me, is when I walk into a classroom, I'm seeing students engaged in learning. I don't see a teacher standing up front doing all of the talking, and then the students doing workbooks and worksheets. Or I don't walk into a class and see everybody sitting there, one student reading while the others are just trying to stay awake. We see engagement, energy, excitement, and students laughing, teachers engaged with individual students. It's just the energy that comes out of this type of learning and teaching is just so stimulating. I mean, I've been doing this now for 47 years, and I'm more excited now than when I started. And I was pretty excited when I started doing this. I love teaching. And now what I see happening with the students and the excitement that comes from teachers, I wouldn't do it any differently.